Welcome back, everybody. It's 8 o'clock. We're about to begin, and for the first time ever, nobody in this, I presume, is snow related, but nobody except for us is here. So no presenter. Henrietta's here. Arthur, Jean, Joletta, Karen, Rosie, and Sarah. So until anyone else arrives or until Joel arrives, I'm going to see if I can unmute everyone and have a true study group. Hello, Arthur. How are you with your 15 inches of snow?
Well, not too bad. It's starting to melt already.
Yeah, wow. And I wonder how much other people have gotten. I just had a client this morning who's going up to Vermont. She said that her friend had 4 feet and counting.
Ounce bottle.
I have relatives in Warren, New Hampshire that have quite a bit of snow, and their children are making snow forts.
Yeah, perfect snow for snow forts.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm glad all we had was flurries. It looked pretty on the trees, and it's pretty much melted once the sun came out.
How much did you get, Jeff?
We got almost a foot, but it's almost all gone.
Wow.
Gotta love spring or late winter snowfalls. And I guess we're due for another big one in a couple of days.
Yeah.
What about you guys in Maine?
We got about 20.
20 feet?
20 inches. Yeah. On top of last week's storm and the week before.
Oh, how much is on the ground?
Probably, well, we pushed it all away, but it was, so I'm going to say 2 feet.
Yeah, let's see. Shelley, thank you for joining us. And I see Laura's here as well, but it looks like she's not connected to audio yet. So we're gonna, if no one arrives, since nobody has a presentation for us, we're gonna go ahead and just talk a bit about what our questions are and kind of have a real study group the way this was originally intended. And I know Shelley had a great article that she wanted to share.
I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
So that wasn't going to be for tonight. Is Joel Shepherd's not going to be here?
I have not heard or seen from Joel. So Joel may or may not be here. Nobody else is here, and I'm sorry, you must have connected right after I said, yeah, there right now are Henrietta, myself, Arthur, Jean, Joletta, Karen, Laura, yourself, and Sarah and Rosie are here. I think that others might have been affected by the snow, but who knows? I just hope Joel's okay because, again, I realized when I reached out earlier that I had not heard back from him since he confirmed tonight. So let's just see. Mary Beth, can you hear me?
Yeah, Jeff, I can.
Jeff, we don't have an official presenter here yet, so we're kind of planning on a more of an open study group, so everybody is unmuted at this time, and we're just collecting responses for the amount of snow on the ground. You may be the winner. All right, looks like Laura just connected. Yep. So can you hear me, Laura?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right.
In the back.
And we have very little snow on the ground.
And let's see, Stephanie, welcome.
Hi.
Do you have any thoughts? Because Joel has not arrived yet. And I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts. I thought we'd just have an open study group type discussion, but whether you have any thoughts for topics for tonight.
No, I.
Kids, I have a quick question. Have you done any glyphosate testing with HRI?
Say that again. What testing?
Glyphosate?
Glyphosate testing on what?
HRI Labs is now standardizing their human tests for animals. So they've developed an animal home urine test for pet owners where they can just order it directly. I was wondering, if, and I guess you kind of already answered the question.
No.
Yeah, no.
Because I can do it. I can do it, with muscle testing and get the answer right away. And,
Well, that was kind of the question, was whether you corroborated or whether you had correlated any of your muscle testing results with the HRI gas chromatography results.
I haven't. I did have a patient with advanced kidney failure who came to me too late, unfortunately, but she had been tested through HRI and her level was at the top of the chart. It was like 38 out of 40 was the maximum. And when I tested her, her levels were pretty high. Not the highest I've ever seen, but they were pretty up there. So my count might have been 300 and theirs was 38. So but if we do it to scale, that was pretty high for my count and pretty high for their count.
Yeah, it's funny, it's interesting because I also recently had a renal case with that 38 result on the HRI test. So I'll be curious to see what others come back as well. And Bianca, you're, excuse me, you're unmuted because we're just having an open discussion. So you can say hi or bring up any topics, or anyone can bring up any questions that they have for discussion for tonight, since we're all here, all being the 15 of us, but not our presenter for tonight. So Bianca, can you hear me? Nope.
You asking me, Jeff?
That was Bianca, but I don't know if she can hear me or speak or be heard, I should say. And Laura, huh? Okay.
Can I ask a question while we're waiting?
No, please.
I had someone call with a dog. I haven't seen it yet with perineal fistulas. I don't know. I know there's some rubrics for fistula, whatever, and there are other things. I haven't got the whole history on the dog yet. Are there any insights what to look for a case of this sort? I mean, other than the whole history, as far as the fistula part of it.
Anyone have any ideas, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'll chime in. I'm not sure what to say about the fistula part yet because it's fistulas. So, just look up whatever the rubric would be. But fistulas are a pretty serious problem. And the dog, I'm sure, has had other problems before that. So I would definitely look at the entire history on this case and look at the dog's emotional picture as well and see what could be contributing to it. And that's how I would probably approach it, because I think these are suppressed cases.
Right. I mean, I'm looking for the whole. I haven't got the history yet. I asked her to write me one. She's going to send me the records, and we're going to discuss it some more and have a formal appointment next week. And then I'll discuss it. I just, I know it's more than just fistula. I realize that.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. How old is the dog, Art? Young dog,
The
older
dog is
dog?
11 years old.
Yeah.
It's 11-year-old. It's an 11-year-old border collie. That's all I know so far.
Yeah, yeah. So probably with less, Charlie said, probably with lung history, skin and ear and other suppressed issues.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would still look at the lesion. I would still be looking at discharges and the nature of the fistula itself. And Shelley, what do you mean by it's a pretty serious problem?
Well, I think it's pretty. I mean, I would probably look at it as syphilitic because these are sort of deep lesions that are spewing out of the skin. But I look at it as serious because if you think of the conventional perspective, there's not much happy stuff that you can do other than suppress the immune system or do radical surgery, which I did see one case of that years ago where a vet did radical surgery and the dog ended up with like total hind end swelling, edema. It was horrible. And they came to me, not for homeopathy, but for something to boost the dog's immune system. Anyway, and I think I told them I couldn't help them, but I mean, if you look at it, I look at it from a conventional perspective as a pretty serious problem from my holistic perspective on the conventional, about what our options are. I don't think I've seen another case of it to treat, or maybe I've seen one that had been treated before. I'm trying to remember if I've seen any since then. But I think they're pretty suppressed. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I also have seen a couple, and they were all within the context of usually a suppressed case. Probably believed at least 4 or 5, if not more of them, have resolved, but often recur as part of the case management over the course of time. Yeah, I'm certainly, syphilitic, any ulcerative or fistulous process like that can be, but I would agree with Shelley that, one of the first things I would do is look at the emotional state of the dog, and, certainly if there, rabies, vaccinosis, or miasm, or what's going on, in other contexts. But yeah, Arthur, they definitely can resolve depending on the nature of the fistula and what we're talking about, because I've seen them, as small as pinpricks that were diagnosed as fistulas to the whole hind end just being raw meat.
Yeah, as it turns out, the dog was started on atopic and it had a severe reaction. She didn't go over explaining it, so that put her off for that drug. So that's why she came to me, or is coming to me, because she wants to treat it holistically, not with medications and surgery.
Yeah,
Arthur, this is Mary Beth. There is a rubric in the New World Repertory under rectum that has fistula. I know that's more pathology based, but
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's helpful or not.
I've seen those two rubrics that are one's fistula, one's tract or fist, whatever. There's two things right on top of each other, but there's more to it than that. That's why I was asking.
Sure.
By the way, good to see you last week or week before, you and Shelley.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, do you guys want to give us those of us that weren't there, just a quick summary of what of the highlights of the ranch?
Yeah, the horseback riding was nice. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it was a good conference. Good cases, some good presentations. I hope that we get to hear further on these cases as they do follow-ups. I hope that would be nice.
I can follow up on that. I can email the people and ask them how they're doing, and then I can send it out to you guys. How's that?
That'd be great.
That'd be great, Arthur.
Thanks.
I'm sure all of us missed the nice Arizona sun.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Jeez.
Because it's a lot colder here now.
Yeah.
I have to say, guys, I don't miss it being from Wyoming. It's really nice in Sedona today.
Mm.
Yeah, you.
Rub it in, right?
He doesn't have to fly halfway across the country to get home either.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I
It's a
know.
lot. It's a lot for you guys to come in there. It is, and it takes a lot of effort.
I don't think I've still recovered from
I know.
all that because I have a red eye that I always end up taking back because there are no good flights coming back unless I want to miss all of Sunday. And so it's hard to get back into the swing of it. And then we had the time change this weekend, losing that hour. And still, I don't think I've still caught up. But it was worth it.
Any aside from the horseback riding, any highlights cases?
There were a lot of good cases.
There were great ones, yeah. Interested the one moose that presented for euthanasia and he had paralysis and.
Oh yeah, Carolyn Benson's case. That was great.
That was a good case. That was an excellent case. That was Moose, the
yeah.
lovely dog.
Very, very incredible because she
highlighted.
Nice video of video of it being able to run afterwards was wonderful.
The distemper case too.
Right.
Those were good too.
Isn't that Rosie's case?
Julie Matthews had a case like that a couple of years ago where a dog was paralyzed post-vaccine basically, and it came back like this case. It took about a year, but the dog was actually walking basically normally. It was wonderful.
That one was a lachesis, if I recall.
Well, no, her case, that the one she presented was but yeah, the other one was too. As a matter of fact, it was lachesis. It was a Rottweiler.
A Rottweiler that didn't look too friendly.
No, he was okay. Anyway, but that was a similar case.
Right. She just kind of presented that as an extra thing.
Yeah, it wasn't a planned thing.
Right, like during the break or something. I think that was a good case too.
Is someone supposed to present a case, Jeff?
Yep. I'm sorry. I mentioned that our presenter tonight, who's going to talk about the Hahnemann conception of the totality or the holistic totality internally and externally, has not arrived, which is why we're kind of having an open chat. And Judy, that was the reason that we're all unmuted and talking over Joel, because Joel's not here. Can you hear us, Judy? Because I see you just arrived.
There you go.
Yep, I can hear you.
Perfect.
But I'm muting myself.
Judy.
Hello there.
Hey, how's your snow?
A lot.
A lot, huh?
Yeah, it's a couple of feet. My snow blower broke. I'm tired of shoveling.
Oh, yeah.
So Italy is looking better and better.
You bet. Wait.
Judy, you have a horse-drawn plow up there to clean you up?
I hooked up my puppy.
Yeah, he'll eat the snow up.
Yeah, he would.
Can I ask Shelley a question about the meeting in October?
Yeah, you can ask anybody here who's on the board.
Whatever. Yeah, you're right. I don't know who's on the board. Sorry. So that's going to be a meeting. You're going to be staying there and eating there, whatever there, right?
Except for Saturday night. The Saturday night meal, we're hoping to all go out together for dinner. So it includes the room at the lodge or whatever it is. It's a retreat. It includes all the meals except Saturday night, and it includes the tuition.
What about flying in? Is it gonna? Where do you fly into? Do you go into Ashbury or Asheville?
Asheville.
Or you somewhere else.
You know what? I am not sure. Sid did post that on the email. I'm sure he'll have a few more emails coming out, but he does have that. So just keep scrolling down. I think he might talk about it there. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we're getting a new website. It's going to be beautiful, but it's in the making. So we don't have anything posted about the conference yet on that. But he's taking pre-registrations. The way it is, all the rooms have one double bed and one single bed in them. So he's limiting the number of people that want single rooms, with the caveat that he may put you down for that, but if, we only have 40 rooms reserved. So if we need more space, you don't get a single anymore.
Did you say one double bed per room?
One double and one single.
Okay, I was just wanting to make sure. I don't know who I have to spoon with to stay in a double bed. That's why.
Yeah, but it should be really good. Jeff, are we doing vegetarian again this year or no?
That's a
Or
good
do we not
question.
even discuss
I
it?
believe that was one of the main options, but I don't know how many others are going to be offered.
Vegan or vegetarian?
Well, I think they were pursuing. Sid was asking about the vegan option, but it's a MCA retreat facility that actually I've got a relative who lives nearby that says it's an awesome place. And I don't know what the food service is going to be like there. I don't know that any of us know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gonna be really beautiful, and the leaves should be changing and everything. So it's pretty cool. Kudos to Sid.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
That saved me this year from trying to figure out doing something in Canada. Next year in Canada.
I was going to say next year. I think next year.
Yeah, we are thinking about Canada next year, so we're waiting for the Canadians to come through.
Well, David and I are working on it.
Cool. Okay.
Well, yeah, I'm sure if you do Toronto, we'll be able to get Joe to come again. I don't think we've seen.
I think that I could probably convince him to go to Quebec. There's a lot of great venues in that province. So I think that was kind of the preference. I mean, I'm 45 minutes from Toronto, so it's great, but Quebec is also fantastic. And Andre is there, so we might be able to convince Andre Sane to come.
Yep. Andre is in Montreal, so
Montreal would be fantastic.
Well, then come to his meeting in June.
Yes.
They are fantastic, and this year, we're focusing on case management of the cancer patient.
Oh, lovely.
Or I should say the patient with cancer, as I get hit on the knuckles with the ruler.
So you're doing cancer this year, huh? Oh, my knuckles.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Andre had a student that would come to class, and that's what he would say is, "Oh, what about this epilepsy patient or this cancer? What about this remedy for this problem?" It's like
right.
So speaking of this for that, I'm wondering if anyone here has any experience with Galliprant.
We actually have it at our practice now.
Oh.
I've only prescribed it in one patient, and that was a patient that went to a neurologist, was put on Rimadyl, but is in kidney failure. And Galliprant supposedly is okay. So I switched it over to Galliprant, which she doesn't feel is as good as the Rimadyl, but the dog's got not degenerative myelopathy, but something going on back there. And anyway, so far the kidneys are okay, but that's all I can tell you about Galliprant. It's like the newest thing. I just look at all of these as equally possibly suppressive or palliative, and and hopefully not causing as much harm as some things can cause. That's my experience.
Yeah, I guess from what I've read, because I also have had a bunch of patients on it, and from what I've seen, it's up there with Atopica, that it actually is deeply suppressive directly of the immune system, and actually dogs are dying from it as well.
Yeah, actually that reminds me, I was talking to I want to make sure I have the right drug here. I think it was Galliprant. Now let me just make sure I have this right. Yes, it was Galliprant. I was talking to an internist from Antec about a case, and Galliprant came up, and she said their internal medicine boards, like their listserv is lighting up over kidney problems with Galliprant. Even though,
Really?
well, you know what? When we had a rep talk to us, I'm always the outlier in the room, or when the rep says, "Are there any questions?" Everybody always looks at me because they worry about what will come out of my mouth. But I said to her, so Galliprant only affects these receptors in joints. And she said, yep. And then she did a slideshow where it showed that these receptors, or whatever they are, these chemicals, I don't even remember, are actually all over the body, including in the kidneys. And I said, hold on a second, can we go back to that slide?
You're troublemaker, you.
Yeah, and so she swears they're safe. So the dog who actually is on Galliprant now is my friend's. And the last thing I wanted to do was make the kidneys worse. So I was on the phone with the company, and they're telling me, no, there are no problems. They're a vet in their customer service thing, and I don't think anyone else has heard of any problems with it. And then here, like 2 months later, I talked to this internist, and she said their boards are lighting up. But she did say, keep in mind, they see the worst of the worst cases. So these dogs are probably like already pretty suppressed otherwise. And my friend's dog, it's been my patient for years. She feeds the dog raw. The dog, I think, maybe just got rabies vaccines when it was due. And so the dog has been minimally suppressed with anything over the years and the dog's 14, large breed dog, 14 years old. So I think we're basically on palliation for the rest of the dog's life, whatever way. And it's not a homeopathy patient. So I can imagine that Galliprant's worse than a lot of others. But that's interesting, Jeff, that you mentioned that.
Yeah, and here I'm reading someone saying the same thing as a drug company. No effect on the liver or kidneys. I just saw a case from VC today who has both liver and kidney disease and is on Galliprant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would love to see any of the reports you mentioned from the internist about the effect on the kidneys.
Yeah, well, that's their private listserv. Like we have our private listserv, so that's what that is. I can, while we're on here, I'll go on Vin and see what they say.
Okay, let me see something.
I have an occasional patient on it. They're usually not my homeopathic patients, but they're end of life issues, and I don't think I've used it that long to find out, but so far so good. I've had to take them off other things because of kidney, and they're doing okay. But again, I haven't used it very much.
Okay, and just Shelley or anyone that's interested in doing this kind of research, don't know if you're aware of, I think it was just released in the past couple days, SOFIE, SOFIE, which is an artificial intelligence veterinary database that makes use of pretty much, well, I don't know actually what the literature search is, but it does, I think, 40,000 pages of the most recent textbooks and journals and seminars, and they give a 30-day free trial. It's basically using the IBM Watson artificial intelligence engine. So lifelearn.com are the ones that's given 30-day trial if you have any interest in. And all you do is type in, like in this case, death from Galliprant or Galliprant, and I just tried to log in to do that, but I don't know my username and password. So it's 8:30, and I see we have Jane. You, Jane, and Henry, it looks like you guys just arrived. Do you have anything you want to add to the open discussion that we're having tonight, since our presenter didn't arrive?
I've been lurking here for probably 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, just eating my dinner.
Mhm.
Me too.
Me too.
Okay.
Hey, question back to the AVH in fall. Shelley or anybody, do you know, are we staying in the Blue Ridge Center, the Asheville Hall, or the Weatherford Hall?
I don't know.
I just Googled the place, the YMCA near Asheville, the YMCA Retreat Center, and it shows these different halls. And of course, in the Asheville Hall, it does show some of the beds as a single bed, double bed. So I have a feeling we're not in the Blue Ridge Center because I think.
Yeah, I could have sworn that's what Sid said, was that we were in the Blue Ridge Center, but.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe they just don't say which. Yeah, they don't exactly say which kind of beds they have in this Blue Ridge Center. So okay, all of it looks really nice.
So I found the Galliprant thing. There's a little, this was from January 29th. So the question was, can you use it with dogs with protein losing nephropathy? And the answer was not simple. And there's this huge long thing that has lost me. But anyway, they say using Galliprant, an EP4 blocker in renal disease, may increase damage by inducing various levels of renal ischemia. Until we know more about Galliprant in renal disease, the basic recommendation is to use caution, especially for long-term therapy.
And I'll give you 3 guesses what this dog that came in today had.
What?
Protein losing nephropathy.
Interesting, yeah. So here's one. I'm going to see what this one says. Looking for the latest ones. Oh. Okay, so here's one where the vet posted the actual lab work, and he said the dog was on Cerenia for 4 days, but other than that, it was on Galliprant, and for 60 days, once a day for, 60 milligrams once a day for a month. And the BUN he's posting here, let me find it. Oops, where did it go? Was, hold on, it was really high. I'm looking for it now. Posted in sections, I'm sorry. Okay, where did it go? It was really high, like 100 something. Yeah, oops, huh? And so the pharmacist, oh, here you go. Greater than 130, phosphorus 15.5, creatinine 9.8. Yeah, so he says, should I contact the manufacturer? And the pharmacologist said yes. And yeah, so he has good records. So you know what? All right, that was December 4th. I probably contacted them maybe around that time. That would piss me off if I contacted them after that. Here you go. They gave dogs 15 times. See, they told me this too. Okay. Elanco told them they gave dogs 15 times the normal dose per day for 9 months and didn't see any adverse effects in liver, kidneys, or GI tract. So she did not think that it could cause blood work abnormalities as bad as his are. She did take my patient's information for further reference. Anyway, and he says, I agree this is a valid point. However, trials like that are done on young, healthy beagles, probably about 10 dogs about 1 year of age. And I said to them, how many dogs were there in each group? And I don't even remember. It was maybe 10 to 15, if it was that many. So I was very, very skeptical when I probed this person that I spoke to at Elanco. So there you have it.
Well,
So all you people out there listening tonight that use Galliprant.
This is the first time
all
I
right.
ever heard of it.
Yeah, I know, I'm being facetious.
I had to go look it up.
This dog was just doing worse and worse.
so everyone here that I think we're all unmuted. Let me see. Yeah, I believe so. Anyone want to discuss any topics, cases? It certainly seems at this point that if we want to keep talking, we should, but if we don't, I don't think that Joel is going to show up, and I just, again, hope he's okay. Everyone's doing great. No issues, no questions, no problems, no cases, except Art's fistula case, potential case.
I have a question. Has anybody treated honeybees with homeopathy?
Now, I'm sorry that Sue Beale isn't here, because I believe she may know somebody who did. Why do you ask, Jane?
Well, I started looking into bees. I took this little class here in the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia in January. It was a 4-session Sunday afternoon thing, and it was for lay people to learn about keeping bees and the agricultural aspect. And then I enrolled in a VIN course that I'm in now for veterinarians for beekeeping. And so I just kind of got interested. I'm thinking about even getting a few hives of my own, but apparently the guy here says that there's demand for veterinarians that can help people manage their bees.
Huh.
Of course, they're strictly conventional, but I just got to thinking, I wonder. So.
Well, I'm sure they would respond. I wonder.
There is a demand for them because they're considered livestock.
Yes.
And so they're subject to the new medicated feed rules and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of them, people who have mobile hives that they take them from farm to farm for pollination, they have to have a veterinary inspection and such to cross state lines.
I do remember seeing a really brief discussion back and forth between the European vets on the AVH forum. So I know that there's European veterinarians that are treating honeybees
with homeopathy. That's great.
Yes.
That's great to know. I'll have to look at that.
I can't remember who, but yeah, you might just get on the forum and say, hey, all you European guys, what do you know?
I'm just at the very beginning of it myself.
And I just got an email from Joel saying, is it time for the webinar? So
no. Time zone issues.
Yeah,
that's what I figured.
Plus the heinous daylight savings time may have thrown them
off.
Tell him we have a whole bunch of excuses so he can pick which one he wants.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. He must have not gotten the link.
Well, you're not going to have him start now, are you?
I was not planning on it, so I wanna see if we can maybe reschedule that for next month.
I'm gonna run.
Yeah, me too.
I have a fireworks meeting at 9.
Fireworks.
Yes, fireworks.
Okay, everybody. Well, thanks for trying, Jeff, and we'll wait to hear what you reschedule.
Okie dokie. Well, thank you all, and I guess we'll cut it off here, and I will find out what happened, and we'll see you all next month, unless anyone would like to meet before that. But I will I'll let you know, and we'll email on the forum. So thank you all, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Jeff.
Sorry for the problem. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.